Good morning, my friends. I have no idea if I'm just desperate, insane, or optimistic. Maybe a combination of all three. It's Monday morning. I needed a video to go up, especially I like to do the financial budget money videos for Monday, and I'm not prepared at all. It has been a very long year this week. I made my own cinnamon dulce. I think it might be better than Starbucks, which says a lot for me. I am a Starbucks girl. Y'all talk about how Dunkin' Donuts is, Y'all talk about how Dunkin' Donuts is so great. I don't think there's any coffee in the Dunkin' Donuts. If there is, I can't taste any. So if you're not really a coffee fan, maybe that's why you like Dunkin' Donuts. I like coffee in my coffee. Okay. All right. So I have spent this morning texting various friends, trying to, those are the cookies. Hold on a second. Anyway, watching my videos, trying to text various friends, asking this question, and I learned something. I speak very slow, and it actually bothers me, but you can...
I don't know where the cookies are.
They're not done yet. Just gotta give them a minute. Gotta wait a little bit. Go put some socks on if you're gonna go outside. You need to keep your feet warm, buddy.
But I have socks on.
I expect it from my California kids, not from the ones that I babysit. I learned that I can't speed up my speech in editing. It comes out like this and it sounds really weird. But I can do it on YouTube and cut videos down about half the time. And I have a semi-normal voice. Just throwing that out there for y'all. But for today's video, again, I'm going to try to keep this short and snappy. We know that's not going to happen. So, here we go. Do what you got to do, and I'm just going to sit here drinking coffee, pretend I'm doing it along with you. So, I was trying to figure out if I had ever shared our Dave Ramsey story. And a couple of the people I texted do not remember it, so... And I don't remember. I think that's the video I scrapped. I don't think I ever shared it. So here we go. Here's going to be our Dave Ramsey story for today and how it's going to play in going forward, I guess, for lack of a better word. Okay, so we actually had heard of Dave Ramsey first year or two we got married. And just kind of knew, okay, Dave Ramsey's financial thing is to kind of get out of debt and do all that. Yes, I think we're going to borderline the insane idea. So what we knew of Dave Ramsey was pretty much how to get out of debt and no credit cards. So a lot of Dave Ramsey was basically how to get out of debt, and we didn't have debt, so it didn't seem relevant to us. And then I had my third child, and we were... I think at that point we had gone from our income of $16,000 to $18,000. We had what we called a big raise, and it was, oh, that was so nice. So, but we also had 3 children now, and I wasn't able to figure out how to make our finances work. And so we had the opportunity to go to a Dave Ramsey class, and I said, let's do it. Let's figure this out. The people in my life, my community, my tribe, whatever you want to call it. I don't think we can say tribe anymore. But all of those people were just, hey, it's not just for credit card debt. It's learning how to manage your finances. And so my husband and I were like, okay, let's do this. And so we went, and you know, we were the only ones in the small group. I want to say there was 11 couples, families, whatever. There's 11 of us there. We were the only ones without debt. I'm not going to tell this next part to like put a halo on my head and a badge of honor and puff myself up. This was the reality. So we were the only ones without debt, and that was kind of encouraging to us. What was kind of puzzling was that most of these people worked on the base, and we were able to, you know, privately share our incomes. And there was a whole hand-raising thing of who makes about 6 figures. A few hands went up, I think like 2 or 3 of the 11. Who makes 5 figures, which of course would be all of us, but the 5 figures was, you know, basically who makes 95,000 to 70,000. Not right now. You know, this bracket, and who makes this bracket. And then the idea was who makes 40,000 or less. And there was like 2 of us that raised our hand. And so, but the accumulation of debt with these 11 groups was like, it was $97,000 collective debt for these 11 families. And I just was like, there's only one other person here that is in our bracket. And I happen to know what her debt is, and it's about $6,000. What is going on here? And we go further onto this Dave Ramsey group, and it basically, your first thing is build up your emergency saving fund of $1,000. And my husband and I looked at each other and we're like, okay, we're good. Because one of the things that we always did was when we would get our tax return, it went into savings. And it was just kind of, hey, if there's an emergency, we'll use that. That's what our tax returns have always been, pretty much, except for 1 year. And so that was that. And then the thing too was, you know, this is where all the collective debt was. The second thing was, okay, now we're going to get out of debt. Well, we didn't have any debt. And this is where we learned, so this is the second or third week into Dave Ramsey. I think it's the third week, because you have your introduction, second, third. We're into the third week of Dave Ramsey, and we're learning how to budget now. It wasn't the first week, it wasn't the second, it was the third. I don't know how that worked. I think just we had the introduction of what it looked like and our homework. The second week was to, I don't quite remember the steps. So if you're a Dave Ramsey guru out there, I know it wasn't the first week. Whatever week this was, it was after I had my third kid, so that was 8 years ago. And I've had 2 kids since then, and my pregnancy brain just starts diminishing everything else in the meantime. So we're sitting there, and, you know, all the hand raising with the brackets. And now we're learning how to write the budget. And so we have all these examples, and everybody's learning examples. And we're like, okay, this is going to be the week. This is going to be how we can figure out why we just aren't living within our means. Why we keep going over, why we're constantly pulling from savings to make this work at the end of each month. And we get to the brackets, and they're like, okay, now we're going to start at the bottom. Like if you are, you know, really low on the income level, this is going to be your hardest step, but we're here for you. We're going to start at the bottom of our paychecks, and we're going to start at $30,000. I'm not kidding. I'm not exaggerating. My husband and I just looked at each other and we busted out laughing in front of this group, this class. And it was so embarrassing, but it was kind of just this like, I give up. I completely give up. And the instructor was like, what's so funny? And my husband was just like embarrassed at that point. So I said, it would be nice to make $30,000. It would be so nice. That would seem like we could make this work. I said, we make $18,000. We make half of that. Okay, it's a little over half, but we make $18,000. And everyone in that room just kind of looked and said, you're the one with no debt, right? I'm like, that's why we're here. We can't make this work. And then it was when we went into, well, then you don't have a budget problem, you have an income problem, whatever that is. And my husband and I were like, yeah, sure, not a problem. After working all day, dealing with depression, fatigue, chronic fatigue and all of this, he'll just go and get another job. We'll put off our just core values and I'll just start working and we'll figure this out. We didn't want to do that. And so we're here at the Dave Ramsey class trying to figure all this out. He's going to walk us through Roth IRA. He's going to walk us through retirement. And my husband and I are like, we can't even eat the way we should right now. That's how, I don't know how to say it. That was our experience with Dave Ramsey. It was not a pointless class. We definitely learned how to do the zero-based budget, which you kind of understand, but you don't fully understand. And it was at that point that I was like, we need to pay off our mortgage. We need to get out from our mortgage so that we have this extra income in our pocket, because I don't think we'll manage it. That was the biggest thing. I wanted to stay home. I wanted to be a mom, first of all, and this is going to take a lot of editing. We know the whole story behind me paying off the house. I'm pretty sure that I've talked about that. So why did I want to share our Dave Ramsey story with you? Well, remember, the instructor and a lot of the courses basically said we didn't have a budget problem, we didn't have an overspending problem, we had an income problem. There just wasn't enough income to meet the basic needs. As I've been the last few months, even just recording all of what we've been doing and just being really on it, because I wanted to provide accurate information for you guys. There's a complete difference to that. There's going to be a ton of noise, and I apologize. There's nothing I can do about it. In putting out the videos for you and putting all the information down and trying to create basically this map of finances, it was very enlightening to me, because I did a lot more work in our budgets than I normally do. I normally make our monthly budget. I kind of go over what we learned in business school, which was basically your expenditures and your income, and just kind of balance everything out and just see if you are spending more than you're making and blah, blah, blah. And so I would do that pretty much on a regular basis, but the specific details and all of that, not necessarily so much. And so it was very eye-opening. But what another thing that I kept running into was how many people would kind of approach me saying, you know, this is helpful. My husband doesn't make a lot, and just trying to see how this could work is just very encouraging. Well, I'm here to tell you that after doing all of this, I'm seeing that it's really not working. We're into, I think I started this in September. So we have September, October, November, and we're halfway through December, and this isn't working. And a lot of it just is our expenditures exceed the income. And I don't think it is a lack of me being diligent. I don't think it has anything to do with being frivolous. It just, there is a lot of cost, and we're just not meeting those costs. My husband, when we came here and we had this plan, we had this roadmap, we did expect a lot of difficulties. We did plan for a cut in the income, and we did have the savings to kind of cover that. But my thought was, when you become a pastor, we're such a small congregation, or this particular sect of Lutheran churches is they're usually very tiny congregations. They're kind of the old school congregations, so they don't necessarily bring in a ton of people. And my thought was, we're going to be dealing with this probably for the rest of our lives, so let's try to just get into a good habit. And I had some amazing people come alongside, and they're going to teach me how to be a good pastor's wife. And they did, and it was so helpful. But here was my realization. When they were showing me all these things, I was like, this doesn't work for a family with special diets. for all these types of things. These are great money saving tips. They're just not going to work for us. I can't eat all that wheat. I can't do all of convenience foods. There's a lot of hidden ingredients in there that we can't eat. And so, yeah, we could get them dirt cheap, but there comes a higher price. And there is always, if it's from God, He will always provide. He will always provide because it's from God. I can't put that correctly. I'm sorry. I don't remember where I was, so we're just going to pick up from here. But I've had a couple people reach out and be like, okay, so what do I do? Because I also want to stay home. I feel that God has led me to be at home. What do I need to do? I'm going to tell you that everything that has happened has not come the day after I've said a prayer. It has come at many different times. I have prayed for a reliable income job outside of the one kid that I get paid for lesson planning. I have been praying for a reliable job for a while, and then just trying to figure out how we have to plan our days for it. And it came only a couple weeks ago after praying about this in September. And the reality is that's kind of what prayer looks like. It is not just praying, but it's waiting and trying to work with what you have then, because there is no guarantee that what you are praying for is God's will. And the opportunity came, and so I grabbed it and I ran with it. And we're still in this transition age with this job because it does take up a significant amount of hours on top of the other two jobs that I have that are temporary, and then just have random hours that I need to put in. Hopefully I can make this video make some kind of sense, but I'm sitting here to basically wrap this all up. I needed others' income to come in. The $1,300 to $1,500 isn't working. I can't make it work. We keep going over our groceries. Even me trying to do as basic as I can. Honestly, even just trying to shop for 2 weeks. The kids see more food in the fridge and they assume that there's more available for them to eat. And so by the end of week 1, we were pretty much out of everything. And it's just, my kids eat a ton. And even when we were doing the pantry clean out and the fridge clean out, I swear I think God had a hand in all of that, because we weren't using up as much as, well, obviously we were, because we still went over the groceries, but I thought we had kind of a better grip on it than we really did. And so now we're in December and I'm like, okay, here's what we have. We have $500. We're going to do it this way. And we've still gone over. We've spent the extra $100 kind of cushion that I had. We've gone into the income that I have for next month already. It's not working. Okay, so when your finances just aren't working, we have to sit down and figure it out. Now, I had told you that my husband and I were prepared for this, and we have that savings. You know, anytime we get tax returns, it goes right into savings, and we don't touch it. We don't go on vacations, okay? We're not even a family that travels. I'm the one that's like, honey, I want to go visit someone in Michigan. Can I go do that? And he's like, no, that's really an extra gas expense. And then I'll need to make sure the tire's okay. And I want to make sure an oil change. Like, it's really expensive. And so he's, you know, that's the kind of thing he thinks of. He thinks of money, cost, work. So we don't go anywhere. The things that I think would be fun, we just don't do. And I'm not saying this to like bash my husband. It's just, again, I'm the spender, he's the saver. So we don't do any of these things. things that we tend to just spend on food. Again. And again. And again. And I'm still working on it. I still think there is a way that we can manage this. I just haven't figured it out. But I did this before. Do it again. Interruption number 4,347. I don't remember where we were. Like I said at the beginning, I'm either insane, crazy, or optimistic. I think there was another word that I used. Crazy, insane is kind of the same one. John, you do not need coffee. Please put that back. If anything, you need less of energy, not more. Okay, so we're at the 15th of December, 13th technically. We're halfway through December. We're halfway through December. Encouragement. I was trying to encourage you. Starting each day with a grateful heart. I've just been trying to do this so that I'm putting into proper perspective what we have rather than what we have not. And I'm sharing this with you because I really think this is essential in any financial journey. It helps us not to spend as much. It helps us to really look at what we have and use it well. Anyway, starting with a grateful heart, I also want to reach out, and I did this in my giving video, but I really want to reach out and ask if you're in a financial position to help someone that you know that could just use some help. I remember getting grocery gift cards. There was the opportunity of us getting about $100 in grocery gift cards once a month a few years ago, and I can't tell you just the relief and the stress that I felt to receive those cards. It was enormous, especially during the holidays when you're just trying to pinch a little bit more to make Christmas work. And I do want to say this. I'm not asking this for me. Like, we're fine. We're good. I have family that do this. We're fine. I'm asking you to reach out for someone that you know that you could encourage, that you could bless this holiday season, especially as they're just trying. And if you're praying every day and God brings that person to mind, please follow through. Because as I was trying to prepare for this video, I kept thinking about all those years, the grocery gift cards that we would get, the notes that would come. I would end up with a notification from PayPal, and somebody would just say, you know what, God just brought you to mind, and I had this on my heart, and I just needed to do it. And it always came at the right time. Like, I remember specifically this one that I was at Walmart, and my husband needed underwear, and my kids needed some socks, and it was an amount, you know, they're not cheap. And I was like, I just don't have it in this month. And then the next day, I woke up to that email, and it covered that plus more. And she just was like, go get a haircut, go get, you know, go take the kids out for ice cream, whatever you want to do. And I kept thinking, how about we buy a tub of ice cream, and then I get everything that they needed, and I can thank her for the ice cream, but then my kids have what they needed, and my husband, you know. So there's always those things to hold on to get you through another day. If you want to, I'm going to leave my email down below. If you want to reach out and be like, hey, if you would just pray for me and our finances right now, I will add you to my notebook, the people that I'm praying over. Pray for you in that way. Again, email is down below. Go ahead and shoot me a line. And again, those that have asked, saying, okay, I need income help. Where do I go to do what you're doing? Honestly, God has put those in my lap. I have not sought them out. I have not been successful in that just because I do not put myself out there very well. I know, here I am on YouTube. But in like Facebook groups for different things, I don't put myself out there well, and I don't know what to charge, and I am not a good businesswoman in that sense at all. Tell me what to do and I'll do it, and I can follow that to the best of my abilities, but to put myself out there, no. But honestly, there is something out there for everyone, and we just have to figure out where God wants us to do. I'm going to have to leave it here because things are getting really loud and really crazy. And I'll see you next Monday. I'll see you tomorrow. It's Vlogmas. I'll see you tomorrow with something else. I have no idea what. Thanks for watching.